Hello. We're going to talk about a cat very soon because, as you know, we talk about cats as often as we can on this programme. I'm a massive fan of cats. But I was just idly talking about the tank story. We did this about half an hour ago. We were talking to a man who bought a tank because he's setting up a museum on the history of totalitarianism, as you do, and has bought a tank for £68,500. And there is one man, and one man only, in this office who has driven a tank, and that is none other than Tech Up Dave. Dave Rhodes, how are you doing?
I'm not too bad, how are you?
Why on earth I'm fine, thank you. Why on earth did you drive a tank?
Oh, this is a long story. So I like going out on driving experiences and stuff, and driving various different
You're
things.
into kind of monster trucks and
yeah,
stuff
that's where
like
I am
yeah.
next week, so no biscuits next week, I'm sorry.
What?
No biscuits.
No biscuits next week?
Not here.
Okay, just before we... I mean, that, first of all, that's totally unacceptable. I've told you before, you're not allowed to take Saturday off, ever.
I'm sorry.
Okay, secondly, we'll talk about the tank in a second, but first we're going to do...
Cardi P's Biscuit Breakdown.
So it's a bit complicated today, and I've sort of slightly cheated on you, Dave, because Gabby, producer Gabby, who's only here for a few weeks because Beth is off. Beth's dad's getting married today. Has brought me these dark chocolate ginger biscuits, which are darkly delicious fiery biscuits for an intense taste experience. Would you like one?
Yeah. Would you like one of the biscuits I brought?
What have you brought? What have you brought today?
These are Blissfuls, Belgian and milk chocolate and hazelnut in a smooth cream filling in a biscuit casing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
One for one.
I'll swap.
Lovely. Go for it. We're just passing these over the studio here. So, yeah, the Blissfuls. I mean, this appears to have a sort of almost Nutella type kind of... They're sort of shortbready, but yeah. That's delicious.
Worst thing you can do on television is eat and talk at the same time.
I mean, you know, I'm eating with my mouth full. I'm eating with my mouth full. I'm talking with my mouth full. Don't care. Anyway, tell us about the tank.
So, back in, I think it was 2014, a mate of mine, he was having a birthday party, and he's a bit of a petrol head as well, and so he found a place called Tanks a Lot up near Brackley, where there's a crowd of you can go as a group, and you can spend the day playing around with military hardware, as you do, including driving tanks and lorries and...
I mean, this is a very you thing to do, isn't it? Can we see a picture of, if you're watching on Talk TV, can we see a picture of... Oh, there he is.
Oh, no.
There's Dave on the tank. There he is. So what sort of tank was it? And what was it like to drive?
You're going to ask me what... I don't have no idea.
I don't know. It was
a tank.
It was definitely a tank.
It was hard to drive, actually. They don't have a steering wheel, or the one I had didn't. You had two levers, and you had to push one forward that went forward and backwards, but the other one was left and right.
That's confusing.
But the left and right was reversed. So you...
I mean, do they want you to crash this tank?
I put it in a pond.
You put it in a pond? So you brilliant. So you were driving the tank and you drove it into a pond?
I crashed the tank.
You wouldn't be much use in World War II, would you?
No. That's why I'm here.
That's why you're a tech up.
Yes, they wouldn't let me loose.
So next week is monster trucks. What's happening next week? So where do you go? What are you doing?
Next week I am off to the London Stadium.
Right.
And I'm trying to remember what the event's called now. But it's a big monster truck weekend.
What is it about these weird and wonderful vehicles that you like?
I just love cars.
Wow.
I grew up watching lots of cars on the TV in the 80s and sort of fell in love with these big American cars and trucks, and not so much tanks, but hey, I'll drive anything.
Drive a tank. What else have you driven?
Mustangs. I've driven a large lorry. That was interesting.
Right.
I went on one of these driving experience days, and they gave you like this huge, great articulated lorry, and you had to go around in a course with it. That was interesting.
I think an HGV would be... I'd love to drive one, actually. We're actually going to be talking about this in a few minutes, because there's this brilliant new app called Break Room, which is really interesting. It gathers a lot of information from basically any job that people do that doesn't require a degree. So people who are HGV drivers, people who are working in hospitality, anything at all that people don't need degrees for. And it says, who are the best employers, where's the best money, and all the rest of it. And my friend set it up. Her name's Anna, and she's coming into the studio. But what I also want to talk to you about is something we're doing at 2:45, which is the cat who's been banned from Twitter because he's not old enough. He's only 6. But actually, and you've got to be 13 to have a Twitter account, so Debs and Craig Stevens were told their cat Tiggy is too young to have a Twitter account. Tiggy has been locked out of his Twitter page because he's only 6. He has been told to come up with government-issued ID before he gets back on Twitter. I mean, in human years, a cat being 6 is about 40.
Right.
So Jack's actually 6.5, so he's nearly 40. I mean, surely that could be made to Twitter?
Well, I personally think it's the bird at Twitter. You know the little Twitter bird?
The blue bird?
Yeah,
well, actually,
scared of the cat.
Is it a coincidence?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very good point, Dave. Very good point. So what am I going to do biscuit-wise next week? That's the problem.
I don't know. Is Beth back or
Beth is back next week. Maybe she's got something. Maybe they're like Irish biscuits that she could bring because she's in Kildare because her dad's getting married today. Peter Keeley, legend. So yeah, do you know what she got her dad as a Christmas present?
Biscuits?
No, she didn't get her biscuits. She got on my book, Secret Life of Special Advisors, which the paperback edition is out on Tuesday. So just a complete coincidence.
That was just shameless.
I mean, you know me.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Check off, Dave. Thank you very much indeed. Let's put a couple of tweets in here just before we go to the news. Lee is saying, have a good time at Monster Trucks, by the way. Let us know how you go. Yeah, enjoy it. Have you tried the ginger biscuit yet?
I'm just about to try it.
Go for it. Let us know what you think. Tense moment. We can hear the crunching. Yeah, he's happy. He's happy with the ginger biscuit. It is very gingery, isn't it?
I think I prefer the ones I brought in.
Yeah, well, tough. You've now those are now gone. I'm afraid. So yeah, exactly. So what did you say, Gabby? Say? Yeah, no. He prefers the chocolate ones. Gabby's very annoyed. You don't like her biscuits, so there we are. No one's perfect. No. Listen, we're going to talk about Break Room, which is a new and a very interesting app about how to get information on jobs you do, especially in a low wage economy. We're going to talk to a woman called Anna Maybank just a few minutes here on Talk TV. We're also going to talk about the cat. So stay with us for the next half hour of the programme.